I spoke with Mark Hulmes about getting new people to play D&D, as well as his advice for new dungeon masters.
I think some of the things that are really important for a dungeon master when you're kind of bringing new players into it, and it's tricky for me because I never had a DM teach me how to DM. The very first time I ever played was me and my friends went out, bought the starter set together, and I just was like, well, I'll GM. Like nobody else wants to do it, I'll do it. And so I just kind of picked it up and ran with it. For a long time, I didn't know how other people GM'd. I just knew how me and my friends did it when I was growing up and in school. And we just had a very much a mentality of like, the rules are there, we're going to follow the rules as best we can, but if we want to do something, is it cool, we'll make it work and we'll find a way to do it that seems fair. And I think that nowadays, especially, you're starting to see more and more people come out of the woodwork who didn't have a good first experience with their dungeon master. So it is incredibly important to provide that. And I think the main thing is to make sure that people have the creative freedom to play around with the system. Like, I feel like making sure that people know that it's not just, rolling dice and a heavy set of rules, that there is a freedom and a creativity to the game, and that they can do things that aren't on their character sheet, they can do things that aren't necessarily written in the rules, you're there to facilitate them. I think making it very clear that the dungeon master is not the enemy to them, like making sure that they understand that you are there to work with them to tell the story. Sometimes that means you have to play the bad guys, and sometimes that means you have to challenge them. You have to put them in fights that are difficult, or you have to put them in situations that seem unfair, because that creates drama and that gives them a positive feeling. When players come out of a really hairy fight and they think, oh my god, I could have died there, that was really scary, they have excitement, they get these nice feelings, and that comes afterwards. So it seems scary at start, and making sure that they have those kind of experiences so that they feel that the DM is on their side and that you're working together to tell the story. And then also, I think these days as well, it's being very aware of your players. It's like making sure that you're aware of what's safe for them and how comfortable they are, making sure that you're not overstepping boundaries, and just communicating. Those are the kind of key things that I think are really important to get across as a DM.
What keeps you coming back? What do you like most about being a dungeon master?
Oh, what do I like most about being a dungeon master? So for me, it's those emotional, epic storytelling moments. Like, and anybody who's watched High Rollers will know this, and I can already feel myself going. I'm in a very emotional guy. I cry and stuff, and it's not because I'm sad. It's just I get caught up in the emotions. And I always remember those moments where like a beloved NPC gets to finally say something or get to do something heroic, do something cool. A villain gets to, dig their claws in and really just cause this drama or this tension or hurt the player in some emotional way. I think about all those moments, and for me, they always end up being like little scenes in my head that I can always remember, like these kind of cinematic moments. And I think about all of those, and they're the things which, like, whenever I see the players, like, shocked or they're surprised or they're excited and like they all react in a big way, I love those little moments. Those are for me. And then I guess like just the idea of being able to take what's in my head and make it a place that my friends can go and interact with and play around with. That's the other side of things.
How do you encourage people to be part of this world? Whether it's at the level of just becoming a player or a dungeon master or streaming, it's really intimidating. And as you and I talked off camera, it's still intimidating for you and I.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your advice to them?
It's a tricky one. Like, people say like, how do I start playing D&D? How do I get into this stuff? And it's like so many things. It's so much easier to say than it is to do. It's just to do it. Like me and my friends, when we first started playing this game, we saw the D&D starter set for like 3rd edition in a game store, like our little local comic shop. And we just were like, man, I've heard about D&D. That could be fun. Let's just buy it. And we just pulled our pocket money together. We bought it off the shelf. We took it home, we got it out, none of us had a clue what we were doing. We got the rules wrong, we made stuff up, we had arguments because we were teenagers, but it created something. It created this need to do it more and more. And I think that it's just get started. Whether that's, you can do it online now, you can grab a starter set and play with your friends. If you don't think your friends would be into it, like if you've got nerdy friends and they're like, no, I wouldn't ever play D&D, but I love, sci-fi or fantasy or movies or superheroes or whatever. One thing I always heard about was you just you invite them over and say, come over for dinner or come over for board games. And then when they get there, you have the table already laid out with blank character sheets and dice and snacks and beers or whatever you want to have. And you just sit them down and you say, okay, guys, what are your character names? Or like, what do you want to play? Or you pre-make the characters and just kind of almost force them into it. Because a lot of times when people start playing, when they realize what the game really is as to what they've been told it is, they'll have a blast. Like, I think the geeks and nerds, they'll love it no matter what. So,
Thank you, Mark Hulmes, for being on D&D Beyond. I'm Todd Kenrick, your host. Thank you so much for watching.